Hello, ladies. My two ladies at the moment, but hopefully we'll have some more pop in soon. Um, I want to hear, Rosana, today's topic is self-care, no guilt, self-care. And I want to go with you first because I know you just came back from Europe. Did you have any guilt at all going to Europe?
No, not at all. I deserve it. I work
Yes.
so hard,
I mean,
24/7,
yeah, you don't take a break. I know they don't know you, but you don't take a break. You are on 24/7. So how long were you in Europe?
18 days.
18 days. And I mean, you did work while you were there. So it's not like you were completely disconnected. You were working, right?
And yes, like I took 4 days in Paris with no phone, no nothing. And I disconnect myself totally, 4 days.
And
And then
you
I
being a
went to,
workaholic, how did you deal with being disconnected for 4 days? What did you have
well,
to like, tell yourself, or did you even have to say anything, or did you know, like this is your time?
I decided when I bought the ticket, I said I'm supposed to go straight to Germany to work. And I said, you know what? It's a long trip. Let me stop in a different country and take 4 days off. So I did it.
Good for you.
But I have to say it. I have to switch my head to do it because it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. We make stories in our head as to why we can't or we shouldn't pour time back into ourselves, but those are just stories, right? Like it's necessary. I always say that self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's something that we have to do. So Tina, how about you? What do you consider self-care?
Uh, I guess working out. I mean, I don't do a lot right now. I am really just, I started a new career, so I am working more than I want to. I don't really say no to anybody at this point unless it interferes with church.
Mhm. Well,
But
you can say
working
church is
out,
your
and now my
self-care.
knee is really ruining that.
Mhm.
So I've been in the pool a lot. I had my knee drained yesterday, and they told me not to go in the pool yesterday, I guess, because it's still considered a wound. They
Yeah.
didn't want it. So, but I'm trying. When I said I was in the pool for 2 hours and I said swimming and treading water, it sounded like a big feat. It really wasn't. It was mostly treading water. I found out that I am not like, I really need better
Listen,
endurance in the
treading
pool.
water is not an easy feat,
Well,
okay?
it was
That
a
is
lot
not
easier than the
easy.
swimming part.
And you said that you do everything, you're always on and you say yes to everything except when it comes to church. It sounds
Yeah.
like church is your self-care time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any qualms or any issues saying no to the time that you have to be in church because that is your time? Do you have any issues or any
It's
guilt?
That's a hard line for me. No, I do not. I go to church. Sorry, but I would be more than happy to show you a home on Sunday, but it has to be after church.
Excellent. So, in other words, you set up a boundary,
I
right?
do. Yep,
I love that. And
I
that's
do.
part of what we're going to talk about today. So that fits in just perfect. Miss Alyssa, welcome. Alyssa, we're talking about self-care, no guilt self-care. I want to know what you do for you that is considered self-care. And it's different for everybody. So it doesn't really matter what your answer is. There is no wrong answer. But what would you say you do for self-care?
Definitely something I struggle with is taking care of myself, but I do enjoy just going on walks by myself, just kind of taking that time out of my day to just go out and have my own time. And then I go for massages a lot. That's something that I really enjoy.
And is there a reason that you feel guilty when you take that time to yourself?
I think it's just my personality, and I don't know why. I mean, being a nurse, I don't know, I just always want to do for others, always want to make others feel better, and it's just you never quite find the time for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand
And
that
I
as
wouldn't really say that I feel guilty whenever I do it. It's just I always feel like I can be doing something else. So it's just not time wasted, but time that I feel like I could be using it elsewhere.
And do you think pouring time into you isn't as important as pouring time into whatever else needs to be done?
Oh, it's definitely as important.
Yeah.
I'm learning that really quickly.
Good. Good. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that aha moment like, yes, I know that's just as important as doing the dishes, doing dinner, helping the kids, helping the dogs, all that stuff. It's just as important. It's
Yeah.
not a luxury. It's definitely a necessity. So thank you for sharing
For
that.
sure.
Yes.
Mhm.
Miss Rosa, can you tell me what you do for self-care?
Oh, geez. I would say I would say being on my phone and just having interrupted time to just catch up on stuff. My reading, and sometimes just to drive. On a long drive, I have the opportunity to drive a lot for my work sometimes. So sometimes those long drives allows me to just kind of clear my head, think about a lot of stuff, and just sometimes just listen to music. And I do massages. I try to do them once a month. I've been kind of bad these last couple of months, but I'd like to get back at that.
I think
Yeah,
it's
'cause there
great
is-
though that instead of taking time out of your day to do self-care, you fit it in, like you have to drive to work anyway. So you
Right.
use your time very efficiently, which is fantastic. That's a great time
Yeah.
to listen to books or listen to the radio or just drive if that makes you feel complete, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, because if I try to do it any other way, I may not get it in, and that's where the problem comes, where you
Right.
kind of just ignore what you have to do for yourself because you have a million other things to do.
exactly. So I love that you don't take it out of your day. You don't make another effort at another time of the day. You use your time efficiently. So good job on that one.
I try and fail often though. I try.
Try. That's good. That's good. You'll practice makes perfect. You'll perfect
Yeah.
it. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Miss Juana, welcome. Can you tell me what you do for self-care?
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Well, for me, for self-care, definitely something that makes me feel way better is exercising, seeing the sunrise. I don't know why, but I love it and I feel better when I do that.
It's beautiful. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Things like that. And more than guilt, I feel I put a lot of excuses, and that's why I don't do it. Because for me to do this stuff that I call self-care for myself, you need to have discipline. And I put a lot of excuses in between and I fail myself a lot of times. And I don't do that for other people. Like if you tell me let's go this time and let's see each other at that time, I will be there. But for myself, that's when I fail. But more than guilt, it's like lack of discipline.
That's funny how we always self-sabotage, right? We know what's good
100%.
for us and we put ourselves last and we just, like you said, we fail ourselves all the time, but we never fail other people. We make it work for other people. Whatever has to go down, whatever we have to change for other people, we'll do it, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Hopefully that changes and going over the stuff today, hopefully you'll get to see why it's so important that you don't fail on yourself. It's super important because how are you going to show up to people that you help and that you're always around if you are frustrated, stressed, tired, just burnt out? You're not going to be the best version of yourself for them, right? You're not going to be thinking
Yeah.
clearly. You're just not going to, it's not going
Yeah.
to be a great experience for them. So if you pour back into yourself and you feel like $1,000,000, you take your walk outside and you feel the sun and you see the sunrise, you come back and someone calls you to do something, you're like, yep, let's do it. Like you feel amazing, right? It's just, you feel really good.
Yeah, that's so true. Sometimes when I don't exercise because I'm not releasing the energy I have because I don't feel like I'm not working on myself consciously, then I do feel that stress and I feel something is bothered or I feel this energy that I need to release. And then I go either against myself, majority of the time. I barely go against people. I'm very like reserved when I have this bad energy, but I definitely see the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Miss Addie, you're up. How do you do self-care?
I don't do self-care. No.
Oh,
I feel lately.
oh,
No, I try to get on a walk and like even like like I've put in there like the 6 hours of Drake school and then working 8 to 10 hours a day. It's long. I
Yeah.
try to like take 30 minutes just to even get like a walk. And that is like my time to like refresh. Like I'm like sometimes the kids want to go and I'm like, oh, that's like my 30 minutes of like quiet time to myself.
So the kids
I
want to go
try to
like
get
where?
that
Is
in.
it something that's scheduled?
Not like around meetings and stuff, which like fluctuate every day, right? So I was always trying to go for like 45 minutes to an hour, but since like my summer's been so crazy, I've been like, hey, like just go for 20 or 30. If that's all you have left before the next meeting, like just go stretch your legs, like get fresh air, get a break
Yeah.
from the screen. I'm
Yeah.
trying, and then I've gotten back to the gym. I'm trying to go like 3 days a week, and that's like my time before the kids are up.
Yeah. That's great.
I used to get massages like at least once a month, and I have not been in like 6 months.
Mm.
So,
And like I said,
and like the
that is
girls
not a
and I, when we
luxury.
go to
That is a
the,
necessity. You have to think about that different. That's not, you're going to go get a
yeah,
massage. It's such a luxury. No, that's your time to reset your brain and take a breather. I had a friend of mine
yeah,
tell me
that's like
once
my
that when she was
goal.
doing homework, good, good. I had a friend tell me once that when she was doing homework with her kids, she was this monster. Like, she's like, I just became this horrible person, like the stress. And she goes, of course, it was always around dinner time and just, there was always so much going on. She goes, until, which I'm not recommending this, just to be clear. She's like, until I found wine. She's like, you know what? Before I do, before I do homework, I'm going to have a glass of wine. That is the requirement. So she would go have her glass of wine. And then she said, homework was amazing. I was so relaxed. The kids would ask questions over and over, and I found all these creative ways to come up with answers. She's like, I was so chill. She's like, thanks to the wine. I am not, again, telling you to go drink wine before you do anything, but you have to find your thing. If it's going outside to walk, like, there's a
Yeah.
difference when you're going to feel a difference when you go out there, you give yourself a few minutes, just a breather, get that vitamin D, just kind of, you come back and
Yeah.
then you can sit with Drake for another hour and then say, you know what, let's both of us
Right,
go
like
outside.
even last night we
Let's
went
take a
for a
break.
run, right? Like in the middle, I'm like, okay, like you are checked out, like go get some energy out. I
Right.
noticed yesterday he was like home trying to cram the last section in
Yeah.
and didn't do anything. And the 2 days before, like he had an afternoon break while I had meetings and stuff, and he went fishing and he slept like a baby, was like attentive with school. And then yesterday was just a nightmare. Like I could not get his attention for the life of me. I'm like, it was like
Yeah.
11 o'clock and I was like, let's go run. Like go run,
Perfect.
like wake up, get some fresh air. Like
And was it different? Was his behavior different when you came back?
yeah,
A
and
little bit more
because we
focused?
get to the point where, and I think I put in there too, like how Justin said how his dad was. Like he'd come home really late, just angry, abusive, not helping with school. And so he doesn't want that. So like last night I was like, I'm so tired. I'm like, I feel like we're like pushing up against this and it's like not worth it. Like I'm getting frustrated with you. We
Yeah.
decided this isn't how we wanted to approach it. Like
Yeah, it's
So-
tough. It's tough.
it is.
But if like, just like you saw him that he was hitting a wall and you told him, let's get up, go outside. You need to do the same for you. That's just as important
Yeah.
for you to do that. So you need to practice what you preach, young lady. All right. Thank you. Catherine, how about you? What do you do for self-care besides your triathlon stuff? You're on mute. So yeah, there you go.
I do a lot. Yes, I love to wake up early because that's basically my time. So try to meditate, or if I have to train, go to the gym. I love to go to the gym. Go do my nails.
Good. And do you feel any guilt doing any of these things?
No.
And why is that? You have kids. Why don't you feel guilty?
Because I feel that in order for me to be successful, I need to take care of myself first.
Mhm.
So that's how I feel. And
Good.
when I start taking care of myself first, like I love to read. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to read 30 minutes or 1 hour if I'm able to, and don't nobody bother me. And I try to find people if they can help or not. So, and yes, if you're very organized, you try to organize your schedule, and you do, believe me, you do a lot of stuff during the day.
Yeah,
So
you can actually get a lot done.
yeah.
All right. I thank you for sharing that. And I know you're very big into working out and all that. So I imagine that is some great quality time that you have for yourself there. She's a triathlon, so athlete, so she gets a lot done. I am going to share my screen real quick, and I hope I do this right. I'm not very tech savvy, but let's see. I want to, yeah. Do you guys see that? Yeah,
Yes.
thumbs up. Okay, great. Awesome. All right, so we're just going to go over some things which we basically just talked about. I mean, there's boundaries that need to be set. There's mindset shifts that need to occur. So these are all important things in order to get this guilt out. There's no reason for us to feel guilty. I think as women, our nature and our nurturing part is give, and we don't pour back into ourselves. So let's get started with that. Let's get started with this. Okay, so understanding the importance of self-care. Acknowledge that self-care is crucial for your well-being. Like I've already said multiple times, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity, and it should be a priority. Realize that taking care of yourself enables you to feel better in all areas of your life. And I think we've all just said that. Catherine just said it. She feels better. Ari said it when, you know, she went out for the walk or the run with her son. Total difference. So it's definitely a priority. That should be a priority. And then here we go. Changing your mind frame. Guys, make sure you're muted. Let me make sure everyone here is muted. All right. Changing your mind frame. Just like Rosana, she was in, I think some of you might have missed her speech in the beginning, but she was in Europe for 18 days and she had zero guilt. And this is a woman who is a workaholic, has her phone attached to her 24/7, says yes to everything. And now she said yes to herself and turned off her phone for 4 days out of the 18 and said, these days are for me. So, and I asked her, so how did you do that? How did you shut that off? And she said, I made myself a priority. I changed my mindset and that's it. She just told herself, this is my time. And that's all it takes is to make that shift, that mindset shift. So hold on one second. I want to make sure everyone is muted. Guys, make sure everyone here is muted, please. So there's no, okay. Recognize that self-care is not selfish, but necessary. I think we've made that clear. And boundaries, just like Tina was saying, she goes to church on Sundays and she schedules nothing on Sunday. She's another one who is a hard worker, now is into real estate, this new career for her. So she is in a building phase. So she's saying yes to everything too, except on Sundays, Sunday mornings. That's a no-go. And that's amazing. You need to set boundaries, define your personal boundaries and tell people, this is the day that's for me. There's nothing that's going to come between that. So that's amazing. And maybe some people take offense to that initially, maybe not this particular case, but if you start setting boundaries, if you're used to not having boundaries and you start setting boundaries, that might get some people kind of feeling weird and, you know, why is she so stubborn about this? Or why can't she run another time? Why can't she, you know, that doesn't matter. That's something they have to deal with. You set your boundary, you stick to it, you commit to yourself, and you promise yourself that you're going to have this time for yourself. You put it in the calendar. If for those of you who know me, you know that I live by my calendar. Whatever's in the calendar gets done. And if I have to shift it, I'll change it in the calendar, but my calendar is my life. If I'm putting in there, I will run from 2 to 3. You better believe I'll be out there from 2 to 3. And that is what you have to do. You have to make sure you define your boundaries, put them in your calendar and say, Sundays, self-care time, I'm going to church. So please make sure you set very clear boundaries with your family, with your friends, neighbors, kids, whoever. And just tell them why it's so important to you. Say, you know, like Ari, Jake, I need to go take a walk right now. I'm feeling very frustrated. I can't think straight. Let me go for a walk. When I come back, we'll tackle this. I'll be ready to tackle this. How can they say no to that? They're like, no, I want you to be frustrated. I want you to stay with me here frustrated. Of course not. That's not going to be the answer. So if you tell them, I just need a break, I need a few minutes to go take a breather, no one's going to argue with you about that. So just explain yourself and set these boundaries. Just like I said, schedule it. Treat self-care like an important appointment. Schedule it in your calendar. Stick to your calendar. Stick to the schedule. It is crucial. Anything you have to do in life that is important to you, I would calendar it. That's it. Even if it means walk outside 15 minutes and you program it in your phone, in your calendar, and you have it repeat every other hour, if that's what you want to do. If that's important to you, you want to go feel the sun on your face, you want to go take a breather, you have to schedule it. And if somebody tells you, hey, do you want to go for lunch? And you're looking, you're like, oh, you know, I can go after, let's say you put in your calendar at 12 o'clock, I'm going to go for a walk outside. I want to feel the sun. And they invite you somewhere. You can be like, you know what? I can't at 12, but how about 1 o'clock? Make your boundary, put it in your calendar, make yourself a priority. You can do it. Then start small. So begin with small self-care activities. You don't have to take 4 days off in Paris. You can start small. You can take 15 minutes in the morning before chaos erupts at home and breakfast and school and the bus and all this stuff. Take 15 minutes, take 10 minutes, go outside and just be silent. You can meditate. You can just hear the birds. You can hear the planes. You can hear, you know, feel the wind, whatever it's going to take. 10 minutes. You don't need much. You can do that in the morning. You could do it at night. Start small. Even if you just wake up and sit in your bed and listen to something positive, a song or read something that's very positive. It doesn't have to be something major. You don't have to go to a spa and get your nails done if you feel very guilty in the beginning. It's going to take some time with putting yourself first, changing your mindset, making sure that you know that this is a necessity. It's not a luxury. And then scheduling it, saying, this is it. This is my time. So start small, gradually increase your frequency and duration. So today it's 10 minutes, tomorrow maybe it's 15. The next day maybe it's 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. Very small. Like I say throughout the whole program that I have, small steps can equal big results. You don't have to do major steps, major action to get big results. It happens either way. Become more comfortable over time. It will. I promise it will. Some of the girls here said they have zero problem taking time for themselves. I'm sure it wasn't always like that. I'm sure when, let's say, Catherine, when you were starting when your daughter was younger, did you have a little bit more like reservations about taking time for yourself? Or you always were just like, nope, this is my time?
Oh, no. Yes, definitely. When they're babies or little, they need definitely more attention. But it's still, I had it to put it on my calendar. And let's say if my mom was around or I asked for help and I tried to say like, listen, can you take care of her for an hour so while I go to the gym? Or if I wanted to read, I will ask her dad as well. Can you take care of her? So if that's something that if you ask for help or you take them with you, there is a lot of gyms that they have baby care, or I don't know how it's called nowadays, but
Yeah, absolutely. Like a daycare service while
Yeah.
you work out. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I mentioned in one of the Zooms once, one of the girls had asked me, well, I have a small child who's very clingy and wants to be with me 24/7. How do I tell that child, like, I need my time? I said, well, you can have time, like me time with them there, as long as you set a boundary. Because it happened to me, my youngest son, I do something called 10-10-10. I think most of you know this because you've gone through my program, but 10-10-10 is read for 10 minutes in the morning, something positive, then meditate and be completely quiet for 10 minutes, and then journal for 10 minutes. So it's a total of 30 minutes, but that's my me time. And my youngest son wanted to be outside with me. And usually I make an announcement when I go and I said, I'm doing my 10-10-10. So no, they all know not to bother me. Well, my youngest son wanted to be with me and I said, okay, no problem. You can be there with me. I'm going to set a timer. And for every 10 minutes, I have to change these things that I'm doing, but there's no talking for that time. You can sit there with me. We can hold hands. I can play with your hair and do all that stuff. But this is my me time. Like, I'm just going to be quiet and I can play with your hair while I'm just thinking of other things. So no problem. You could sit with me. So that's what I would do. I set the alarm for 10 minutes and I was just sitting quietly and he would just look at me like, what is she doing? So I'm just sitting quiet, looking around. And as soon as the alarm will go off, he would ask me, now can I talk? I'm like, nope, we have to do another round. Okay. So I would put the timer, another 10 minutes, I would be journaling. The alarm will go off. Mom, now can we talk? I'm like, nope, one more time. And then I'm all yours. And that's it. So he wanted to be with me. I still got my me time in. You can make it work. You just have to set boundaries. And that's basically the whole gist of it. And you become more comfortable saying no over time, I promise. Challenge negative thoughts. Yes. We are going to screw up, right? We're not perfect. We're going to cave and feel guilty at times, and that's okay. There's always a new day. There's always a new hour. So if you set your time for 6 a.m. and you overslept and now everything's breaking loose, all chaos is happening in the house, that's okay. Take it easy. Take a breather. As soon as the chaos calms down, then you take your time, 5 minutes. Like Ari said, maybe I can't do the whole hour or 45 minutes, but I can do 20. Okay, great. Take your 20 minutes. Like Rosa, when she drives from her house to her work, it takes her some time to drive there. So she uses that time to do self-care time. She can listen to a positive book or some amazing music, or just put the windows down and feel that fresh air. You can make it work. Give yourself some grace. Don't be hard on yourself if what you had scheduled didn't work out the way that you wanted. Just find another way to relax and do what you like. So take those and let's be rational. If you start thinking like, oh my gosh, all these negative thoughts, you have to think, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm overreacting. I don't need to get this crazy. I have 10 minutes that I can go to the bathroom and shower. I'm just going to sit in my tub for 10 minutes. That's self-care time. It's the same thing. So no excuses. And then this is part of it too, just having self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Whatever you tell yourself, I mean, like if you have these negative thoughts in your head, that's what you're feeding your body, all this negativity. Your body will believe everything that you are manifesting. So don't put negative thoughts in your head. Don't speak ill of yourself. Things happen. We all need a break. We all deserve a break. Life is so busy. It's go, 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 go. And there's nothing wrong with taking a few minutes. Ideally, if you can take an hour, amazing. And more than that, golden. But if you can only take 5 minutes every now and then throughout the day, then do it. I mean, you do go to the restroom, right? So while you're in the restroom, sit there and do deep breaths for just maybe 10 deep breaths or less. That's all it takes. You're going to feel so much better by just dedicating that time to yourself. It'll clear your head. Breathing, there's so many benefits of taking deep breaths. I mean, there's so much research on it. If you just take some major deep breaths and let go and do that a couple times, your heart rate goes down, inflammation goes down. There's so many benefits. So be kind to yourself, understand that everyone needs a break and that you deserve to take care of your health.
Jessica, I started doing that deep breathing. There was one of the weeks during the challenge and I chose deep breathing and I'm still doing that. I love that.
Right? Isn't it amazing? The benefit, like it's instant relief, right?
It's crazy how good it makes you feel and it takes no time.
Yeah. You have to breathe anyway, right? So if you're going to breathe anyway, just take it a little longer how do you do it? Do you breathe in like 4 seconds and then breathe out 6 or what's your?
As long as I breathe in like a big deep breath and then I take 45 seconds to blow it out.
45?
Yep. I worked up to that. I didn't start at 45. I started at 20. I'm at 45.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Your lung capacity is insane. That's great. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing that, Tina. So learn to say no, recognize that overcommitment can cause guilt. Why do we do this to ourselves? I don't know if it's just us women. I don't know if men do this too. I know my calendar, if you were to look at it, it looks ridiculous. Take my daughter here, take my son there, call this person, do this. My calendar is so filled with things. There's a lot of stuff that I could probably hand over to my husband to do. I take it all upon myself. Luckily, as soon as I feel that I am starting to get worked up, my husband, who's an amazing partner, I can tell him, hey, I need a few minutes. Can you take care of this? Because it's in my calendar. I'm supposed to do it now. Do you have time? And he can say yes or no. And if he says no, I can reschedule it for a time that he is available. And I'll just take the time for me. Like Rosa said, ask for help. Hey, mom, I need to go to the gym. Can you come see the baby for a little bit just while I go to the gym? Ask for help. It takes a village, like I always say, to raise kids, but it takes a village to live life, to get through life. Not just for kids, but for adults too. It's very difficult doing things, especially if you're by yourself, if you're a single parent, it's very difficult. So if you overschedule, at some point, you're going to fail. You're going to get exhausted. You're going to get burnt out. And then all that guilt is going to come in. Don't set yourself up to fail. Get the main things that you need to get done in the day, do it. But anything that's a little extra, ask for help. Defer it to someone else. Maybe if you have, like my case, if my kids are older, I have 4, but 2 of them are driving. If I am so swamped, I will be happy to send my child to the grocery store to pick up whatever. Hey, Ryan, do you mind going to the grocery store for me? And there's some time that I can alleviate for myself. That way, if I don't go to the grocery store, I don't feel so guilty. Like, oh my gosh, I still have to go to the grocery store. I have all this stuff going on. Learn to say no. If you are booked, if you know that something's going to go into your self-time, your self-care time, say no. Set the boundary. Protect that time. It's a sacred time. And then a lot of you that are on this call have already been through my program, so this is not news to you, but 31 days of pouring into yourself. Most of you have done it. It's funny because I see a representation of class 1, 2, and 3 here, which is really cool. So you can dedicate 1 month to yourself. And as you guys know, it was very doable, right? Does anybody disagree with that? No? Good. You can dedicate 1 month to leveling up in all areas of your life, in your finances, in your health, in your relationships, without sacrificing your schedule, without sacrificing work or being a good mom or wife. Everything can get done. You can fit it all in because this 31-day program that I put together doesn't take much time. I promise. I'm going to go over it real quick. So we come together as a community, as most of you already know, just like this, just like we're doing right now. And we tackle challenges every day. Like I said, it could be about finances or health or anything. It could be, how to apologize to someone. We tackle a little bit of everything. And we follow this path in my book, which is It's My Turn, which I think it's back here. And we motivate and we support each other through every single challenge. So every chapter of the book is 3 to 5 minutes worth of reading. Everybody has that time. While you sit on the toilet, you could read a chapter, I promise. And then there's 2 challenges. There's a get out of your, head mental, get out of your comfort zone challenge, a mental challenge, and then there's a physical challenge. Because for me, fitness is everything. If you do not take care of yourself and you are super sick inside, outside, and you are thrown in a bed, you're worth nothing to anybody, right? You can't provide anything to anybody. You cannot run around town doing stuff for everyone. At that point, your body's telling you it's time to take care of yourself. So you didn't take care of your body initially, but now your body's telling you have no choice. You got to take care of me. You don't want to get to that point. So doing things like this are super, super important. So we get together in a WhatsApp group and we discuss all these different topics. And every journey is unique. Everyone has gone through different things. And Tina, I threw you in here because I knew you were going to be on the call. So here are some stories from past participants. Tina was one of them. On day 3 of the program, I asked you to do a physical assessment. I asked you to check where you are, see what you're able to do. Are you able to do a push-up, a sit-up, go for a mile walk, check your blood work. Are you balanced? Because a lot of the times we feel awful and we don't put 2 and 2 together and think, well, maybe my hormones are off, or maybe, something is off in my blood work. We don't think about things like that. And Tina was a prime example. Tina was being, well, I guess I can let you say it, Tina. But better you to say the story. It's your story.
The worst of it was non-sleep. Like I wasn't sleeping, tired. Like
Wait,
when
but
I
what
say
is
I wasn't
non-sleeping?
sleeping, I was getting like a total of 2 hours of sleep a night, but I was getting it in like 20-minute intervals, waking up all night.
Yeah.
I was tired all day. My workouts started to be really just, I kept thinking, this can't just be age. I'm 56. I know most of you are probably younger, or close to my age, but I didn't think there was any reason that my workouts were supposed to be so terrible. And I hadn't had blood work in a long time. And when I did, I found out I had almost no testosterone at all.
No joke. The normal
Yeah.
level for testosterone in women is between like 75 and 110. Tina, what was your number?
0.4.
0.4.
0.4. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was dragging,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I am taking care of that now. And I feel so much better. I sleep, my workouts are better. Like everything in my life is better. Everything.
How many hours are you sleeping now?
Between 6 and 7, which is amazing for me.
Yeah, that's life-changing type of sleep.
And I'm getting
From
it like
2 to
all in a
7?
row. If I wake up, I only wake up once or twice, but I don't stay awake. I go right back to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty phenomenal. And like you said, now everything is kind of falling into place. You feel better. You've dedicated that time to yourself. You went to go get blood work, which when was the last time that you've checked your levels like that?
Oh, I hormones probably never.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, that's not part of the normal panel. But even normal blood work, I have to tell you, I haven't done it in years.
yeah. Yeah. And that's so important. Now you see like the value in doing something like that. This was life-changing for you. I remember
Yeah.
when you started telling me, oh my God, I slept 4 hours. I was like, wow, that's huge compared to the 2 you were sleeping. And then you called me,
Yeah.
you're like, guess how many hours I slept last night? I slept 6 hours. Mind blowing. And you're like, I feel amazing.
And I was crying all the time before. I think it was just exhaustion. I don't do that anymore.
Excellent. I love that. And all this happened because you took the time for yourself. So
Yeah.
very proud of you. Good job. And then something else some past participants have gone through. One of the girls was had written to me because there's a challenge where you have to kind of figure out what your blind spot is. So, and what I mean by that is you need to ask other people around you, either coworkers or family members, spouses, how you present yourself to them, how you show up for them. And sometimes you might not hear great things. Sometimes you might hear, you're very pushy or you're very stubborn, or you might hear the complete opposite. Maybe you're kind of downing yourself and you talk real negative to yourself, yet you hear these amazing words from other people that just blow your mind. And that was what happened in one of my classes. One of the girls didn't have the best relationship with her dad, and she was very jealous about her brother having an amazing relationship with him. And she asked him to do this exercise and didn't expect him to really answer. She says he's not very touchy-feely, he doesn't go deep, and she just kind of did it to see what happened. And this man wrote her a 4-page handwritten note, front and back, spilling his heart out to her, saying how important she is in his life, how much he loves her, how proud he is of her, and all these things. She called me, I think it was like 10:30 at night. She sent me a text and she's like, "Are you up? I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Oh boy, sure, let's talk." She was hysterical crying. And she said, "You don't know what this exercise has done for me." She's like, "This has changed everything." She's like, "I'm going to frame this letter." I've shown it. She goes, my daughter, who knows my relationship with my dad, I read it to her. My daughter was crying and she's like, "I didn't know, that grandpa was like capable of going deep like that." And it changed her world. She was having issues with relationships. She's like, "I'm seeing things differently now. Like my eyes have been opened." All this from just having these challenges that we do in the book. It's just amazing what can open up. What's amazing, let's say for Tina, for her health, that may have been the only thing that was life-changing for her. Maybe not. But for this girl, it was this one. Everybody has a different challenge that just kind of opens up a new world for them. And then the last one was one of the girls in the first class. She had said that her dream was always to write a children's book. She's like, "I already have it in my head. I know exactly how I want to write it. I know what it's going to look like." And I said, "Great. Why haven't you done it?" And she said, "Well, life, I get busy and I have a kid and, it just gets complicated." And just being in the program, having this type of support like we have in here, and then having an accountability partner, which I assign you, between the accountability partner and me, pushing, 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 within the 31 days, not only did she write her book, it was published on Amazon. And before the 31 days, she had finished it. It was being sold on Amazon. And we took pictures with the book. A lot of the girls bought the book. It was the most beautiful thing. And she increased her confidence. She thought, "Oh my gosh, I can't get this done." And here she is now an author, and how like confident and proud she is, and her husband's so proud of her. So many different things can come out of a challenge like this when you have support like this and a community like this. So that's something I wanted to share. My promise to you, if you participate in the program and you think this was a waste of my time, this is just garbage, then no questions asked. I will refund you anything that you paid for the program. And you have nothing to lose when you do this program. You have everything to gain. You have everything to gain. You're going to meet women like all these amazing women here, the majority of which have done my program. And they can tell you, you meet a community of women who just, you create bonds. I know there's 2 in here who are like BFFs, and I'm not going to call you out, but I know you know who you are. And they connected. They never knew each other. They're on opposite ends of, of the country. And it's just amazing. You don't know the type of people that you're going to meet and connect with, the chemistry that you have with people that you don't even know. So everything to gain. Our next challenge is going to be on July 10th. So it's coming up very, very soon. June 30th, I'm going to cap it at June 30th because I need to ship out books. So if you or anyone you know want to take the course and be in something like this, please reach out to me. The program is $219 with the book, and that's $7 a day, which is a Starbucks coffee a day. And if anything else, if you want to pour back into yourself and give yourself self-care, this is the best way to do it, because I will force you to give yourself self-care. That's just how it works. You're not going to escape me, I promise. And for a Starbucks coffee a day, it is a no-brainer. It is definitely something that you would love. Tonight, I have a code called Confidence. If you know of anyone who would like to do this program, send it to them. They can get the book for free. So that will bring down the price to $199. And it says here, "Shut up and take my money." That's so funny. My friend put that on there for me. She's like, "I want to do it. I want to do the slides for you." And she put that title, but 31dailychallenges.com is the website. You would click on the women's challenge. And like I said, you would click on need a book and then put in Confidence at the checkout, and it would give you the free book. And if you need to speak to me, regardless of the program, regardless of anything, you just need to pick my brain for anything, I'm here. Use me. That's my calendar on a link. I told you I live on my calendar. So if you book it, I will call you. Well, you will call me because it's scheduled that way. And it'll say, like, let's say Marta will call Jessica at this time, at this number. It'll have it very clearly laid out for you. If you book the time, please value that time. Don't book it and not call. That's all I ask. So if you are serious, I would bend over backwards to speak to you. You tell me if you need to pick my brain, you have something that you need to get off your chest, whatever it is, I'm here. I'm available. Just get into that link and book a call with me. Or you can send me an email at coach@31dailychallenges.com. Any of you girls have any questions? or any comments or anything before we head out for tonight? I didn't even check the chat. I hope
I
nobody's
would
in
just
my
say
group.
if there's someone on here who hasn't done the program, I would encourage you to do it. I was in class with Marta and Tina and Catherine. It's a great program. $7 a day. Like it's not a sales pitch. It's reality. We are testament to how great the program is. Take the time for yourself. You will come out 31 days later, a better version of yourself. I don't know a
Thank
program
you.
out there that can guarantee you that. So I highly recommend it.
Thank you, Rosa. I appreciate that. Okay. So that is all I have for you tonight, ladies. I hope you learned something. I hope there was a little nugget in there that it stuck to you and that you are going to incorporate. And I hope to see you at the next workshop. I hope to hear from you. I would love feedback. Oh, I'm seeing something in the chat. I just don't want to make sure I miss anything. Oh, thank you, Juana. Thank you for joining us. And feel free to connect with me anytime you need it. You have my information now. Have a great night, everybody, and have a great upcoming weekend. Good night.
Hi, Jessica. Thank you.
Bye.
Jessica.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye, guys.
Great to see you.
Bye.